So this is exactly what a psychologist does. We listen to you, we understand you, we help you overcome your self-limiting belief system. We help you understand that how your own thoughts are damaging you. And the last and the most important thing, we validate and reassurance the thoughts that you have in your mind. Hi everybody, this is Archana Shaktawat, a clinical psychologist, a TEDx speaker, and an author. Well, aren't you going to have something like hi everybody, whatever that
Yeah.
welcome to the usual.
ये कर सकते हैं अपन कि guys welcome to the usual beginnings इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा टाइम लगेगा.
ऐसे ही बोल दो हाँ.
And then
Yeah.
you know
Hello Archana, welcome to the usual freak, and I think you are our first guest.
and freak too.
Yeah. Couldn't get happier. Feels like I already have a crown on my head. Yeah.
Just tell a little bit about yourself. Or I don't know it.
Sure, absolutely. So, I'm Archana Shaktawat, a clinical psychologist, recently turned an author, and recently debuted on TEDx. Proud about it. Psychology has been more of a calling than a profession that I chose. So I think that's why I enjoy it a lot. I love helping individuals who are going through an anxious or a depressive phase. I enjoy this also because I feel after a certain age, today I'm 39, and I took up psychology when I was 32. So I was matured enough to understand that this is not just a subject that I'll be studying. It will be empirical. I'll experiment. I got the opportunity to experiment because I was already into training.
You must be having very young clients too, from like 15 to 30, and there must be one common trait जो कि सब में या फिर I would say कि
ये common issues.
ये common issue है जो कि इस generation में आपको feel हुआ होगा. तो what like
I think common issues बहुत है, जैसे overthinking बहुत ज़्यादा है, procrastination बढ़ गया है, tolerance कम है, adjustment issues है. इसके बहुत सारे reasons हैं. हम आजकल
So like what do you think like it's like what are the potential causes that leads you to overthink?
overthink?
Like is it because like people are like consumed with content and everything, like what they see in the schools, they're inspired from like series and everything, so they want to be like that. So like what do you think like overall impacts?
So I think you have in a way answered the question that yes, there's so much exposure to a lot of information. So the more the information, the more the brain is going to think. But overthinking currently today is a lot to do out of fear, out of judgments, out of performance, out of proving to the world that I'm good. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप इंस्टाग्राम पे या फेसबुक पे, मैं पर्सनली भी अपनी दुख वाली फोटो तो मैंने कभी आज तक नहीं डालनी है. हिम्मत ही नहीं है शायद डालने की. राइट, आई ओनली शो द बेस्ट साइड. Everybody does it, and we start thinking the real life is the real life. I'm not blaming them. Similarly, एक time था wherein patients were very high. गाजर का हलवा बनने में 1 दिन लगता है. Can you imagine? It's difficult because अब तो हमें आधे घंटे में स्विगी से ऑर्डर आ जाता है, तो हमारे टॉलरेंस लेवल कम हो गई है. तो नेचुरली जब चीज़ें हमारे अकॉर्डिंग नहीं होती, वी आर सडनली सैडेड, वी सडनली फील बैड अबाउट आवरसेल्व्स, वी फील लाइक लूजर्स. सो वी गेट इनटू अ नेगेटिव माइंडसेट, एंड नेगेटिव माइंडसेट तो ज़्यादा ही सोचेगा. सो रीज़न बहुत सारे, पर ये मेन रीजंस है कि आप एक तो इंसेनली हाई स्टैंडर्ड्स की जो सोसाइटी क्रिएट करी गई है, विच डजंट एग्जिस्ट, वी ऑल नो, राइट? Not everybody is going to get into a profession where within 2 years they'll be on a 50 lakh package. Doesn't work like that. People go up the ladder. तो ये जो insanely high standards बन गए, Instagram पे आप रील्स देखते हैं, लोग मैंने 6 महीने में 10 लाख कमा लिए. I'm sure कमाए होंगे, absolutely. But it may not apply for everybody, right? So when you see these videos, you feel low about yourself, you feel negative about yourself, and a negative mind will always over.
It's like their thumbnail and tagline is purposely made
Correct.
to attract those.
So much of dopamine, those rushes given to you, But dopamine does not last for very long. It's like sugar, ना हमेशा एक sugar cube खा के हमेशा अच्छा नहीं लगता, उस moment में अच्छा लगता है, तो वो फिर eventually कहीं ना कहीं damaging होता है.
Also, the definition of achievement has changed a lot in.
Correct, absolutely.
But yeah, like, can you tell me, like overthinking is not always bad. So like, because when I think, like, I do critical thinking, so like I see both the good and the bad side. But like people go on negative tangent.
Correct. Yeah.
So like,
Should we do?
yeah, like what should we do about, like, how can, consciously we can think.
Correct. Okay, so overthinking is a loop that you develop, right? And it is either fast oriented, which is the rumination, एक ही चीज़ के बारे में मैंने ऐसा क्यों किया. So rumination comes from the cow. वो अपना ना गाय होती है ना, वो खाना खाती है, उसके बाद it has the ability to get the cud back and chew it again, right? Yes. So that's called rumination. तो हम भी हमारी लाइफ में यही करते, या तो हम ruminate करते आए यार जिंदगी में काश ये करते और we worry. So one of the ways to reduce overthinking is through journalizing. कोई भी ओवर थिंकर है, उसको जर्नलिंग अपना बेस्ट फ्रेंड बनाना पड़ेगा. एंड बाई जर्नलिंग आई डोंट मीन हैविंग अ डियर डायरी, आई लव यू, माय डे वाज ग्रेट, गुड नाइट, बाय बाय एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. इट इज पर्पसफुल राइटिंग. So you're writing with the purpose of venting out your negative thoughts which are draining you. So negativity drains you. So where you can take a piece of paper on one piece of paper, write down all your negative thoughts, all those thoughts that are damaging, where you feel low about yourself. I'm not good enough, nothing is worth for me, life is bad, blah, blah, blah. Write it, pen it down, and then burn that paper. So, it psychologically helps you कि जल के राख हो गए. क्या जल के राख हो गए आपके thoughts? तो your brain gets a calming effect. Another reason why you should journalize, because writing is a very slow and a thoughtful process, whereas thinking is very fast. So naturally जब आप लिखते हो ना, तो आपको अपने writing speed और thinking speed को match करना पड़ता है. And anything that slows down is good for your brain. That's one way. Secondly is, you will have to remind yourself constantly that okay, now I'm going into an overthinking loop. So कुछ लोगों को मैं suggest करती हूँ, कुछ ऐसी techniques develop करो खुद के लिए जो आपको present में ला सकते हैं. So one of the best ways to be in the present is to use your power of senses. Giving an example, अगर आपके रूम में एक अच्छी खुशबू आ रही है, तो naturally आप past और future के बारे में नहीं सोचोगे, आप वो उस खुशबू को enjoy करोगे. या अगर आप कुछ अच्छा खा रहे हो या अच्छा कुछ देख रहे हो, तो naturally आपको वो past और future में नहीं ले जाएगा, present में ले जाएगा. Sometimes just talking to the right set of people at the right time, giving you the right advice can be such a life changer. You don't always need to go to a psychologist like me. I'm not promoting myself. Sometimes just banging into the right set of people can actually bring so much of a change. I think that's what I learned.
I think what I learned from this conversation was all boils down to accepting yourselves, like every point of view before going to the next person. Because if I don't know about myself, then I don't have any right to, so to go and comment on the other person or even think of understanding someone else if I don't have the courage to understand myself. So I think acceptance is a word, is the key, and I guess it plays a good role. And I think I'll keep that in mind, and I will, practice it more. Yeah.
Thank you for saying practice.
Yeah.
Because you can never reach the epitome of self-awareness. Yeah, so beautiful.
So like,
मुझे जो इस कॉन्वर्सेशन से समझ आया, मेंटल हेल्थ डेफिनेटली इम्पोर्टेंट है, बट इट्स लाइक going to a psychiatrist or someone could really help, but when you go to a psychiatrist or a counselor, like they would do is listen. And I think ऐसा होता है ना कि मेरी कॉन्वर्सेशन किसी से हो रही है, मेरे डियर से हो रही है, जिससे मैं रोज़ बात कर रहा हूँ, बट वो मुझे किसी प्रॉब्लम के बारे में समझाने की कोशिश कर रहा है. आई थिंक उसका एक्सेप्टेंस मैं इतनी जल्दी एक्सेप्ट नहीं करूँगा जितना कोई मेरे को
प्रोफेशनल
एक प्रोफेशनल या इवन एन अननोन, इवन इफ इट्स नॉट प्रोफेशनल, और अगर वो सही एडवाइस दे रहा है तो आई डोंट नो व्हाई आई विल शिफ्ट टू हिज थॉट्स एंड मूव अकॉर्डिंगली। बिकॉज लाइक अगर मैं रिलेशनशिप की बात करूँ तो अगर मैं लाइक इफ आई हैव अ पार्टनर तो मैं उससे कितनी भी तारीफ कर दूँ, कुछ भी कर दूँ, बट कोई दूसरा अगर उसकी तारीफ करेगा ना तो उसे बहुत ही
Nice.
अगर हजारों लोग आपकी तारीफ कर ले बट कोई एक भी जना अगर आपको नेगेटिव बोलेगा तो
So it impacts you.
it impacts.
Correct.
So I think if people realize at the right time what's anxiety and what's causing the mental health, they should go to a psychiatrist because they will ask
Or a psychologist.
or a psychologist. They will ask you the right questions, and you will be the one answering by overthinking or analyzing.
There's no compulsion that you have to learn something from it.
I really want to ask you a question. I think there is something I struggle with it every day is overthinking. Because कभी-कभी ये वो इतना ज़्यादा हो जाता है, और जैसे आपने कहा कि आप एक लिख लो, जर्नलिंग कर लो, बट मेरे साथ ऐसा होता है कि मैं इतनी लो होती हूँ that I don't even want to get up and I have zero motivation to even कैसे मैं जाके ट्राई भी करूँ लिखने का, बिकॉज इन जस्ट लाइक गोइंग डाउन 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 एंड आई थिंक मेरा ऐसे होता है कि देयर इज जस्ट लिविंग वन थिंग एटलीस्ट मुझे समझ में आया कि देयर इज दिस वन थिंग रिवॉल्व्स इन माय हेड इज अराउंड डेथ बिकॉज
Okay.
I think when I was very young, my nani died holding my hand and I saw that process. I think it was so much for me to take in. I think it just started from there where I got curious about that. I was into it, ki wo how, and I felt that it's such a real thing. As I think, मैं थोड़ा सेंसिटिव हूँ तो ज़्यादा अंदर घुस जाती हूँ, इतना अंदर घुस गई कि I think it started, messing around.
So, I want to suggest you something, because grieving is something that I feel is very important, which you did not do because you were too young to even understand the concept of grieving. Grieving means that, feeling the fact that, you accept that somebody has passed away and you are going to lose somebody in life, right? It is going to happen to you. We are all mortal beings. We're all going to end our life journey. Maybe one day you will have to write a letter to your grandma. Try writing a letter to her and write down everything that you want to tell her and how much this death meant to you, not having her, and the absence of her in your life. I think you should write it to her. And if you want, you can keep that letter with you. If you want, you can burn that letter. Or, keep it in a place where it's precious. But you got to let that thought out. And see, grieving doesn't mean that one day you're going to be okay with the fact that she's not there. You just realize that life goes on. Their absence will always be felt. But you got to live your life, right? And you also have to start prioritizing yourself, which you're not doing. You want to hold your grandmother more important than you're holding yourself. But you need to understand that unless you are full, you cannot give it to anybody else. I cannot pour from an empty jar, right? Even if you ask for water. If I don't have water, how will I give it to you? So you know what happens, especially in such phases wherein your own motivation dies. Your own willpower, willpower is defined as the ability to do something in spite of not wanting to do it. So you like sugar, but you say, nahi khauga. So in these situations also, you want to do something, but you lost your willpower. Is where you use support systems. You use help of seekers. You have reminders everywhere. You ask a parent or a mother to constantly check on you. You ask your friends to check on you. Professional help works, because every time when I ask my clients to journal, I call them up and I ask them why they didn't do it. So sometimes they do it because I am on their head. And once when they get into the practice, they realize that how it is helping them. This is very unique professional in Hais. And sometimes your own motivation will not work. And that's why it's good to reach out for him. This is like, आप नीचे कहीं हो तो पर
consciously have an intention. Otherwise, then like you have to be like, you know, like in a course, like I see like people like they are like YouTube से पढ़ लेंगे ये पढ़ लेंगे, but जो ज़्यादा results मैंने देखे हैं वो उन्हीं के देखे जो actually coaching program के through जाते हैं. But parents would like children say that like they don't like to go there और मस्ती होगी, but still like वो जब वहाँ जाते हैं और जब उस curriculum को follow करते हैं तो वो कहीं ना कहीं उन लोगों से better होते हैं जो just haywire thoughts हैं.
So actually, इसके अंदर ना notice that's such a beautiful question, and this is where I want to bring in the concept of mindset. So mindset का मतलब होता है being consistent. Correct. Should we go on there? So this is I want to bring the concept of mindset. Life is more about consistency than intensity. So कितनी बार जब फॉर एग्जाम्पल मेरे पास लोग आके कहते हैं मैम जर्नलिंग से कोई फ़ायदा नहीं होता. हाँ, सच में कोई फ़ायदा नहीं होता अगर आप एक दिन जिम जाने से आपने कभी वेट आपने कभी भी अपने बाल एक दिन में बढ़ते हुए देखे नहीं. Everything is a journey. That's why success is 5% brain and 95% consistency. तो वो जो बच्चे जो कोचिंग प्रोग्राम से गए वो एक कंसिस्टेंट प्रोग्राम से गए. सिमिलरली कोई प्रोफेशनल की हेल्प लेता है या कोई मेरे पास आता है, then I am making sure that they are doing it. Even if they don't like it, I make them do it. They may say it's not helping them, but एक बार वो consistent हो जाएंगे उनको उसके results दिखते हैं. We all know कोई एक दिन में monk नहीं बना है, कोई एक दिन में साधु नहीं बना है, कोई एक दिन में मोटा नहीं हुआ, कोई एक दिन में पतला नहीं हुआ है. So same thing happens.
I think even when like I walk on treadmill, like for even walking for 10 minutes, it gets so boring because I just walk and walk. And I don't like
So
to...
pair it up with something which is in.
Yeah, then I listen to the music or watch something like keeping it there so it distracts my mind. And
Pair it up with something. Pair it up with something or somebody. Or you know, it's called commitment device, where you tell yourself that if I do 15 minutes of treadmill is only when I will have good breakfast. Yeah, exactly. So work on the reward system. Remember, no brain will work on consistency if it's not getting a reward. And I love giving rewards to myself. One, a pleasurable experience hota hai. Secondly, it keeps me going. So every time I've done something, gone out of the comfort zone, I reward myself in whichever fashion. You know? It could, for some, it could be a chocolate. For some, it could be a movie. For some, it could be just not doing anything, sleeping.
Makes you happy.
Whatever that makes you happy. Yeah.
I think also we have to like use, you know, the habit of procrastination.
Yeah. So
Like
I want to ask this question to you. What is procrastination to you?
एक procrastination जो मुझे करना चाहिए but मैं उसे बार बार delay कर देता हूँ for some or the other.
Correct. What about the two?
I think for me, what I have to do is I go very much deep into when did the perfect, when did we not, when did we perfect, and then eventually I end up not making.
Yeah. So
Because like there are many scripts which we discussed and which is like which is written in my diary from so long when I first put like handy camera, but it's still in that process because I'm like नहीं यार ये character का ये भी हो सकता है ये भी हो सकता है ये भी हो सकता है. Oh, what if I can turn this into a feature film? But and it's still there till that diary or in that book. It's not coming out, and I know that fact. There is nothing and no term like perfection, but at the same time my mind is like saying bro, this can be a perfect thing, this can be a perfect thing, maybe add this, maybe add that, but it end up like just adding things
just being in the cupboard, yeah, or just being in the diary.
and I am practicing it to like जो भी आपके दिमाग में हो रहा है just create it and just throw it in the universe and
Wait for it, yeah. Wait for the return.
wait for the return. I mean वो आए नहीं आए, I mean it's like कि हाँ आपने बना दिया नहीं, move on with the next one, क्योंकि यहाँ पे तो I am stuck with
Correct.
perfecting the thing which I don't know वो कब आएगी बात. So that's why I think we are doing this podcast also, because we have been like discussing it for long. And then we came to the conclusion, let's just do
Let's just do it. Yeah.
I think
And I guess it worked.
it worked, yeah.
What thought?
I think it's pretty much very same because I think I kind of lose the confidence in the process only. And I like, hey, क्या पता शायद नहीं होगा नहीं काम कर. It's not meant to be. If we suddenly believe in destiny, then
But what one should do in that thing? Like,
So, procrastination is generally associated a lot with time management and ये तो आलसी है. Like you would tell yourself also, yeah, मेरी किस्मत सही नहीं चल रही. But a lot of research has gone into procrastination because a lot of us struggle with it. It's not just you. There's a whole bunch of people. You're not the only one, so don't take it personally. So it has to do with a feeling that we have towards the job. Yeah, whatever task it is. Basic feeling, pain, pleasure. So the pain that you have is, now that I've reached a stage where people expect me to do a thing of a certain stature, if it does not match it, they'll criticize and it'll be a painful experience. Find a very solid, not one reason to do it, but 3 reasons. Because motivation fades on one reason, like isko bhi 4 pairs chahiye. So we also need more reasons to do, a stronger purpose, a stronger why. Why should I do it? So I'll tell this. Pre-lockdown 2019, I wanted to get into some sort of physical activity. I said, let me go join the gym or do something like that.
okay. चल वही क्या
हम तो ऐसे ही बात कर रहे हैं. iPhone camera. So then I was like, I'll join some karate class. And I told myself 3 reasons why I will join. 1, I will work on flexibility because karate is more on flexibility. Second, I thought I will do some self-defense. As in for my muthi, I was like, kuch to self-defense seekhungi. And third, I also wanted to build my stamina. So these were 3 reasons. So there were days wherein if one reason was missing, like, aaj thak gayi yaar. फिर then I'll be like, नहीं यार, self-defense के लिए तो करना ही पड़ेगा. So I had 3 reasons. I just didn't bank on one reason of losing weight or just one reason of being flexible. So it kept me going. So for a good 1 year, I was regular. And then because of the lockdown, it went online and then it fizzled out. So what's easy? Yeah.
I didn't like
So have a stronger purpose to do it. Another reason how you can reduce procrastination is try and work on the concept of not draining your willpower, like not draining your willpower on altru-faltu things. Like giving an example, मुझे आज कल मेरा कोई बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट असाइनमेंट है. अब मैं सुबह मुझे 5 बजे उठने में मेरी 10% विल पावर चली. फिर सुबह उठ के कॉफ़ी ना पीने में 10% और चली गई. फिर नहाने में 10%, अरे आज नहाना है. मेरी आलतू फालतू चीज़ों में तो सारी विल पावर चली गई. सो व्हेन आई एक्चुअली सिट डाउन टू डू द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट वर्क, माई विल पावर इज ओवर. माई विल पावर इज लिमिटेड एंड इट डिप्लीट्स. तो बाय द टाइम मैं 2 बजे एकदम इम्पॉर्टेंट काम करने के लिए बैठी हूँ, आई वेस्टेड माई विल पावर ऑन ब्रशिंग माई टीथ, क्रैपिंग एंड नॉट हैविंग कॉफी, गेटिंग आउट 5 o'clock. So you got to save your willpower for the right things, and that's why we say we are nothing but our habits. अब ये सब हैबिट्स में डाल दो, आदत बना लो इसको. जैसे जर्नलिंग की आदत डाल दो. फिर क्या होगा ना, जब आप लो फेज में आओगे भी ना, तो आपकी आदत सी हो गई है कि अब तो मुझे जर्नल करना है, उस समय ठीक हो जाती है. Because it's not a habit ना, is where all your willpower gets drained, and when you actually जब उसको सच में यूज करनी है ना, you are left with nothing. So ये 2 तरीके हैं जिससे आपकी procrastination to a very great extent reduce हो जाएगी.
But I think what if
आदतें भी ऐसी नहीं होनी चाहिए जिसकी आदत ही लग जाए. क्योंकि जैसे
ये एकदम रिजा गालिब वाला स्टेटमेंट लग रहा है.
वैसा निकालता मैं अगर होता तो मेरे
Actually, the very side.
Experience like they're like हो चाय नहीं हुई नहीं सा तो पूरा दिन चला गया वेस्ट हो गया वैसे फोन ही पा रहा है
Yeah.
वो हैबिट ही ऐसी फोन
वो तो unhealthy hasn't chosen. मैं तो healthy habits की बात से. Hopefully. So मैंने एक बड़ा ही interesting concept कहीं देखा था जिसमें imagine the word habit written as HABIT. You remove the H, a bit remains. You remove the A, bit remains. You remove the B, it remains. So you can never get rid of your habits. That's why they say develop healthier.
when we were having our lunch like I had this thought in my mind but like when I was
That's why you ate so less.
yeah, like I go out and eat very less because of that. But like when I'm with the people,
You don't even eat when you go out.
yeah, but still like I feel like जब वो experiences होते हैं ना और वो जब continuously होते हैं ना तो फिर अपने आप कहाँ subside हो जाता है मुझे पता ही नहीं पड़ता और कुछ नहीं होता है. It's just वो आपके माइंड में like, मैं अपने पार्टनर को या फ्रेंड को किसी को भी बताता हूँ ये चीज़ तो लाइक दे टेल मी कि इट्स सिर्फ आपके माइंड में है.
And जो आपका mind believe करता है वो हो जाता है कहीं से.
Like
So you gotta stop believing in it.
no, but like this can play really positively as well. Like I think like if we say law of manifestation.
Correct, absolutely.
So like I got my guitar, piano, MacBook where I was just constantly thinking about that. I had like that time I had no source like कहाँ से आएगा वो कैसे आएगा, but I was just thinking like that. So I think sometimes it worked positively, but like sometimes that those thinking can like lead to very like
See, your brain doesn't understand visualizing for good and for bad. For it, it is visualization. If you can visualize yourself in a hospital bed, it can happen. And if you visualize yourself as doing something successfully, that will also happen. Because that's how energy works, Every thought of yours is heard, listened, experienced, watched by every cell of yours. It will automatically work towards it. But when it comes to like what you mentioned, and while we were talking on the dining table, you mentioned that you have a weak liver, right? So now
also my partner told me that you don't have a weak liver. It's just कि आपके parents ने वो बोल
thank you. Absolutely, I was just going to say super. Exactly. So कभी कभार ना हम कुछ ऐसी चीजों में believe करना start कर देते हैं. Again, nothing wrong. This is how the brain is developed. वो इतना सारा information को download, upload, filter नहीं कर पाता तो एक general assumptions बना लेता है कि अगर ये करूँगा तो इससे liver affect होगा, ये नहीं करूँगा तो liver ठीक रहेगा. Parents ने भी वो fear डाल दिया, वो belief system डाल दिया. So that is why. So probably now you have to undo. See, everything that you have learned can be unlearned. You agree with that? So you learned that you had a weak liver. Now you unlearn that you don't have a weak liver and then relearn that you have a healthy liver.
I think I have to be in like that, constant process, like where I don't want to be, I have to be.
Yeah, correct.
So that I can, avoid those things.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the day you do that, there'll be less anxiety. Because see, anxiety is all in the head. And the brain will think everything possible. But the day you start taking actions, anxiety fizzles out. Fizzle out ho jaye. Start taking actions, your anxiety and fear will reduce. Giving an example कि कितनी बार जब मम्मी पापा घर पे नहीं थे और हमें घर में अजीब अजीब आवाज़ें आ रही थी, फैन की भी आवाज़ आ रही है, लगता है कोई दरवाजे पे भी है. But every time we got up to check if there was somebody not there, our fear fizzled out. Take actions when you have anxiety. A for anxiety, A for action. What you got? But then action comes first and then anxiety. So take actions, your anxiety will reduce. And same is the case with depression. Depression is when anxiety becomes into an anxiety disorder, and when it goes undiagnosed, you can go into a depressive phase. And even after so much research done, there is never one reason why you have depression. Even we as psychologists cannot say this is the only reason why you have depression. For anxiety, we may come close to it. We will still we can know now that these are the reasons I'm feeling depressed. Yeah, so what happens with depression is it's a vacuum feeling. It's a feeling where you don't feel good about yourself. It's a feeling that is like, you know how sometimes there is a cavity, एक गड्ढा है, एक खालीपन है. अब वो बहुत सारे रीजंस के कारण हो सकता है. मल्टीपल फेलियर्स इन लाइफ कैन लीड to depression. When anxiety is untreated for a very long time, it can lead to depression. And depression will immediately affect your daily routine. You will become a fast tense person. You'll always say, पहले मैं टेनिस खेलता था, पहले मैं ये करता था, अभी आप कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे जो आप कह रहे हो. And all those things that you love doing, like playing a guitar, clicking pictures, you drawing, you will suddenly stop. Rather, you will hate it. And when people will ask you to do it, you will hate that person. It's like losing hope and help. Actually, yes. So depression is very closely associated with hopelessness. And losing hope is like going into an extreme negative state. Positivity is that only, you know, where you see that, okay, life is going bad, but there's still light at the end of the tunnel. It's far away, it's very dim, but there's still light. And then the societal thought, yeah, correct. So with depression, first you begin with some signs, you know. एक तो सबसे पहले social isolation हो जाएगा. आप लोगों से कटना स्टार्ट कर दोगे. You will not want to talk to those people who ask you क्या चल रहा है. और यार क्या हुआ यार आजकल तू आता नहीं है. Then you're like, ये मेरा दुश्मन है, he's not helping me. You know, you get those feelings. So you first begin with self-harm. Because in depression, your self-esteem goes at its lowest. So you feel that everything that's happening is because of me. And I don't think I deserve to live. So to begin with basic self-harm, you know, आप अपने सिर चोट पे खुजालते रहोगे, wound होगा उसको खुजालते रहोगे जब तक वो बड़ा ना हो जाए. सेल्फ केयर तो एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता. आप नहाओगी नहीं. You know, you're stinking, you won't brush, you don't feel that you need to pamper yourself, you feel like torturing yourself. And then one fine day जब self harm बहुत ही undiagnosed जाता है, पेरेंट्स भी नहीं नोटिस करते, छोटे छोटे आप कट्स बनाना स्टार्ट कर दो, you start hitting yourself, you lock yourself in a dark room and things like that. And then unfortunately it's suicide.
It keeps like,
yeah, there's a stage to it. Yeah, there's a stage to it. And कभी भी हम एक रीज़न एक पर्सन को नहीं ब्लेम कर सकते फॉर डिप्रेशन. कभी कभार नॉन सपोर्टिव सोसाइटी होती है, या आप एक ऐसे एनवायरनमेंट में जी रहे हो जहाँ आपके आसपास सब इतने सक्सेसफुल है, यू आर द ओनली वन हू इज अनसक्सेसफुल. अगेन सक्सेस एक डेफिनेशन है, वो मैं क्या प्रॉबेबली आई टेल यू व्हाट सक्सेस मीन्स टू मी. बट तब आप एक ऐसी सिचुएशंस में जाते हो. इसीलिए आई ऑलवेज टेल पीपल कि जो छोटे छोटे साइंस होते हैं ना, डॉक्टर्स भी हमें कहते हैं यार ये छोटे सर्दी जुकाम को इग्नोर मत करो, या अगर बहुत समय बुखार हो रहा है उसको इग्नोर मत करो. सिमिलरली अगर आपके ऐसे सिम्टम्स हैं कि आप अपनी डेली रूटीन से बाहर निकल रहे हो, आपको हर छोटी बात चुभ रही है, आपको लोग कम पसंद आने लग गए हैं, आपका ईटिंग हैबिट इज़ गेटिंग अफेक्टेड, either you're eating too much or too less, your sleeping is getting affected, too much, too less. 6 to 10 hours is healthy sleep. Anything less, anything more is unhealthy. You should not sleep less than 6 hours and not more than 10 hours. This is unhealthy. अगर इस तरीके के signs हैं, please reach out for help. And also, अगर आपको लगता है you deserve more, like Mudit feels that, you know, where I am, I don't think I'm good enough, I think I need to be up there, then it's a mindset issue. There also approach help, because I think asking for help is such a courageous step. It requires strength, not weakness. Reach out to people, it will help.
Ivana, like once I told my mother that I'm to know feeling fine and feeling very anxious and she told me one thing. She said ki we were also in the dark zones, and now you just have a term for it, and now you just want to So then I started thinking about it as like sometimes we say ignorance is a bliss that we were talking yesterday, but what are the things we should really ignore in life? So I feel when it comes to your mental health, you should not ignore anything, because brain is not the only organ in your body, but it is one of the most important organs in your body.
This is how you get up in the morning. This is how you tell yourself to do certain things. This is how you get out of your comfort zone. You do everything because the brain is healthy. राइट एंड अगर आपका ब्रेन अनहेल्दी है तो आप कितने भी एक्सरसाइज कर लो, कितना भी दोस्तों से घुल मिल लो, आप एक पार्टी में भी अलोन फील करोगे. यू फील लाइक वेयर एम आई, लाइक आई डोंट वांट टू बी हियर. और आप सक्सेस पाने के बाद भी यू वॉन्ट बी हैप्पी. एंड वी ऑल नो एग्जाम्पल्स वेयर one of the most successful people in the world have committed suicide. So that's why I feel the definition of success does not mean materialistic gains. I'm not saying that you should not have material, but success has to be 360 degree. अगर आप हेल्थ वाइज भी हेल्दी हो रहे हो, you're successful. अगर पैसा भी आ रहा है तो you're successful. आपके पर्सनल रिलेशनशिप्स इंप्रूव हुए तो you're successful. सोसाइटी में आपके रिलेशनशिप्स कैसे हैं और कैसे आपका करियर आगे बढ़ रहा है. You have to be successful in all these 5 areas to call yourself success.
I think it's like a nature kind of thing. You just have to balance.
Yeah, correct. You just can't make money and then have a huge storm and wife के साथ झगड़ा हो रहा है.
Can't sacrifice anything.
I don't think that's success to me. I think they are the most unsuccessful people. और ये भी नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप कर तो एकदम 6 packs abs है मगर आपके बैंक बैलेंस 0 है. ये भी लाइफ में नहीं होना चाहिए कि आपको सक्सेस हैज टू बी 360 डिग्री. इट कैन नॉट बी वन वे. देन आई डोंट थिंक इट्स सक्सेस. दिस इज माय डेफिनेशन. इट वेरीज, सब्जेक्टिव है, पर मेरे लिए सक्सेस इज 360 डिग्री. Today, if I say that I'm doing well professionally, then I'm doing well personally also, and health-wise also, mentally also. My relationship with money has improved. Relationships have improved. So I think that's when I consider
that is
success.
a smart move, because if I'm earning in lakhs or even crores and there's no one to celebrate with me, there's no family, and
There's no family, or the fact that you're unhealthy. Like I know a lot of my own friends, they are at 50 lakhs per annum or more. They all have health issues. All of them. Physically, they are unhealthy.
like reaching to the top. There are 2 ways. One is like to go really with the flow and like achieve things step by step, and one is with every step you take on anxiety and stress to achieve more. If I'm at 50, then I'll like 100 तक पहुंचना है, 150 तक होना है. In a good way, the approach is good, but to sacrifice like things कि मैं family को छोड़ रहा हूँ, मैं सारी चीजें छोड़ के I'm just focusing on
One thing.
then I think
But I think तो फिर easier way नहीं हो गया. It's so easy.
no, it's very hard to if I'm a
I
married
think
guy.
अगर मेरे सारे nails उग रहे हैं, it's a healthier way. अब मैं सिर्फ एक ही साल से बाल लंबे हो रहे हैं और दूसरी साइड से नहीं हो रहे, that means something is wrong. I like that. I feel it's not right. Sorry, you wanted to ask some. Oh, never mind. I could, so I say this in all my sessions that there are 3 languages I know: Hindi, English, and body language. So body language, well, like you wanted to ask a question.
Then it's the coffee.
Yeah, maybe. Because मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि एक तो एंजाइटी, ओवर थिंकिंग और वो सब भी होता है, but then a lot of it has to do with jealousy, securities, and then one feeling always there, like there. So I feel that every emotion का एक purpose होता है. Now एक simple example है. हर इमोशन हेल्दी भी होता है, नेगेटिव भी होता है. सो एंगर मेरा सबसे फेवरेट इमोशन है जिसमें मुझे बात करना अच्छा लगता है, क्योंकि मेरे खुद के एंगर इश्यूज है. यू ऑर्डर फ्रॉम माय मदर. तो अब मैं नेगेट भी नहीं कर सकती, राइट? सो एंगर एक हेल्दी होता है और एक अनहेल्दी होता है. सो हेल्दी एंगर, या देयर इज अ वर्ड लाइक हेल्दी एंगर. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मुझे इंसल्ट्स हो, you don't know anything. I should get angry. I must get angry. It's necessary. The purpose is there is injustice, there's ill treatment. I will get angry and I will not shout and मुझे तू कौन सा काम है, तुझे भी क्या आता है. That's the normal way of reacting, right? But I very firmly tell Mudit, this is something that I don't approve of, and I don't think you're in any position to tell me something right. If you were in my profession, coming from a professional, I would take it. And I express it, and I'm very firm when I say that. The slower you speak, the firmer you speak, the more the authority. The louder you speak, the squeakier you are, angrier you sound. So, I take these workshops with students and I always tell them that, imagine a situation where, like my dad, if he had to scold us, all he had to do was Divya and Archana. And we were like, but that's all he did. He did not have to say, get out, you guys are good for nothing. He just had to say a word slowly and firmly and we would get scared. That's authority. So that's the authority I would use with him rather than saying, tujhe kya aata hai, tu bhi to pagal hai, blah, 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 stuff like that. So it's healthy. Similarly, jealousy. Now, jealousy can also be healthy because it helps you do better. It motivates you. You're like, yaar, uske paas hai to mere paas kyun nahi hai, mujhe bhi kuch karna hai. So you got to channelize your anger in the right direction because every emotion is born in few seconds and dies in few seconds. So if you can kill it in few seconds and use it for your benefit, you can. So एक emotion है जो बहुत underrated है, which is guilt. सुना है guilt के बारे में अंदर से? So guilt is हमने कुछ moral values अपने दिमाग में बना रखे हैं कि भाई murder करना गलत है और सेवा करना अच्छी चीज़ है और किसी से रूडली बात करना गलत है और सबसे विनम्रता से we heard it over the years, be nice to people, don't be rude. So imagine today I'm rude to Arva and I say, what is this? I don't know anything. My guilt conscious है यार, मम्मी पापा ने तो बस सिखाया था, you shouldn't be angry, you shouldn't say things like that. So my moral code suddenly goes into me and that's guilt. You feel bad about yourself. So what do we do? When that guilt is active, I will go to Arva the next day. Arva yaar, I'm so sorry yaar, I shouldn't have done it. You know what, blah, blah, blah. इतना over explanation देती हूँ. And you will notice liars over explain. That's how we catch liars. Next time you lie to your parents and you'll see you'll over explain. मम्मा क्या हुआ, हम वहाँ गए ना, फिर ये हो गया, फिर वो हो गया, फिर ऐसे हो गया, इसलिए हम लेट हो गए. सच बोलना होगा ना, मम्मा वहाँ गए थे, टायर पंचर हो गया, इसलिए लेट हो. So when you over explain, you lie. So when I over apologize, यार sorry यार, बुरा तो नहीं लगा ना, लंबे messages, sorry. That's when this is going into a dirty or an unhealthy expression of emotion. So बहुत सारे ऐसे emotions है, ये guilt एक बहुत high.
कोई ऐसा करता है over explain वो, तो like people start valuing them
less, absolutely. And then then you have to explain your over explaining also. So then you're constantly explaining. So you're always wanting to know.
Yeah. बस मैं like बहुत बार ऐसा होता है ना कि पेरेंट्स के साथ कुछ ऐसा फाइट या कुछ होता है तो like I explain that and then I keep explaining and they are like अगर तू सच बोल देता ना डायरेक्टली उसी टाइम पे तो वो जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ती. But you know, but then the emotion of fear like वो क्या कहेंगे, उन्हें बुरा लगेगा तो मुझे बुरा लगेगा, फिर मुझे डांट पड़ेगी, like that thought की वजह से मैं वो बोल नहीं पाता हूँ and then
So see, again, this requires practice. This requires sensibility, awareness. ये बिरयानी है हमने जो आज खाई, ये बिरयानी है. बिरयानी मतलब मैं एक एग्जांपल हमेशा देती हूँ, खिचड़ी और बिरयानी का, या पुलाव, नॉट बट वेजिटेबल पुलाव, और वो खिचड़ी स्टाइल में भी तो एक पुलाव वेजिटेबल्स बनते हैं ना, वेजिटेबल्स एंड चावल एंड बिरयानी भी होती है. बिरयानी का एक प्रोसेस होता है, एक जर्नी होती है. पहले सब्जी जाएगी, फिर चावल आएगा, फिर लेयरिंग होगी, फिर दम होगा, वो टाइम लगता है. डिलिशियस तो बहुत होती है, उसके पैसे देने पड़ते हैं. खिचड़ी भी बुरी नहीं होती, बनती फटाफट है, सब डाला एक साथ हो गई, बुरी ये भी नहीं लगती. पर किसके पैसे देते हो? बिरयानी के लिए. किसके लिए? किसका टेस्ट ज़्यादा लगता है? वाह क्या बिरयानी थी, सेटिस्फाइंग वो होती है. सो सिर्फ एक इंग्रेडिएंट से बिरयानी नहीं बनती, सिर्फ एक तरीके से आप एक बेटर ह्यूमन बीइंग नहीं बनते. इसीलिए आई थिंक कि गिल्ट, एंगर, जेलसी, ये बहुत सारे इमोशंस हैं. हमेशा कोई एक एरिया होगा दैट यू विल नॉट बी परफेक्ट. I don't know why I'm saying this. My mom's told me that I still have anger issues. You think I have perfected it? No. It's a journey. Maybe a year later, I may be 10% better. But it'll still be there. So you'll never reach that stage of epitome.
From also
Monks also have anger issues, baby.
yeah, like आपने जैसे बोला ना, there are a lot of emotions, but then when we were talking about being angry, so you told me that there's a term called healthier anger.
Yeah.
बट सो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि लाइक सोसाइटी ने और लोगों ने उन टर्म्स को बहुत लाइक किसी भी सिचुएशन में लाइक 5 डिफरेंट सिचुएशन है, 5 डिफरेंट इक्वेशंस है, दे ट्राई टू पुट इट अप इन वन शेल. लाइक अगर किसी का ब्रेकअप हो जाए लाइक मैं बहुत डिप्रेस, एंड वो डिप्रेस बोलकर सिचुएशन से फिर निकल नहीं पाता. आई थिंक पीपल शुड हैव एन नॉलेज लाइक डिफाइनिंग व्हाट आर द इमोशंस.
करेक्ट absolutely. इसलिए ना एक इमोशनल वोकैबुलरी भी बहुत ज़रूरी होती है, लाइक आई सेड, हेल्दी एंगर, गिल्ट, हर्ट, हेट्रेड. अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल ब्रेकअप्स के केसेस मेरे पास बहुत आते हैं, एंड समटाइम्स उस एज में वो सबसे बड़ी चीज़ है ना. इट्स लाइक आज एट 39 है, फिर ब्रेकअप ही तो हुआ है, क्या, इट डजंट मैटर. But at that age, it's almost like life has come to an end, You've been through that, I've been through that. Though, I mean, I have a different story, but yes. Yeah, been through it, right? So at that age, you feel like it's the worst that can happen to you. But breakup में आपको एक चीज़ आपको हमेशा याद रखनी पड़ेगी कि अगर आप बार बार ये बोलते रहो, ये I hate her, एंड हम एक एक्सप्लेनेशन ढूंढते हैं टू जस्टिफाई द ब्रेकअप. कभी कभार ना हर बार एक वाइड नीडनल हमेशा हेल्पफुल नहीं होता, बिकॉज वो आपको एक कभी कभार एक नेगेटिव माइंडसेट में ले जाता है. एक उदाहरण के लिए शराब उड़ानी, you don't know anything, what is this? Now if he goes back and thinks, Steve keeps thinking, why did she say that? We were having a healthy conversation. I know her for such a long time. Why do you think she said that? भाई कभी कभार ना एक आपको नेगेटिव माइंडसेट में ले जाएगा. तो अब आप अपने आप से पूछो, now that the breakup has happened, it was so sad, shouldn't have happened. What and how? What should be done? How I can improve this situation? And this is what as friends, अगर आपके सराउंडिंग्स में कोई है जो दोबारा गाने सुन रहा है और जिसका ब्रेकअप हुआ है, डोंट टेल हिम यार क्यों छोड़ के चली गई, यार क्यों ब्रेकअप हो गया. Tell it, fine, it happens. Sometimes some people are not meant to be. And if you're actually meant to be, it will happen. वो कौन सी पिक्चर का डायलॉग है, ओम शांति ओम पूरी काय. It happens. वो मैनिफेस्टेशन की बात है, वो विजुअलाइजेशन की बात है. अगर होना होगा तो हो जाएगा, और नहीं हुआ, and I feel कि कभी कभार ना we are infatuated by a certain trait of a person. For example, I really like people at my age, I like people who are growing in all areas of life. They attract to. Okay. But maybe 5 years later, I will like somebody who believes in spirituality and doing that. It keeps changing. So we fall in love with a trait. You guys are at that age where, you want to fall in love with people who are looking good, who dress up well, have color on their face. But at my age, I'm like, ठीक है यार, कैसा लग रहा है, ऐसे बात कर भाई, ऐसा भी नहीं होना चाहिए.
बात करते हिलती और
right? So I mean, I fall in love with the trait.
Yeah.
So it's important that आप ये realize करो कि कभी कभार some personality types can never gel well. नहीं बनती है. अब जबरदस्ती उसको जोड़ने की कोशिश कर, तो वैसे ही हो गया ना. हमारे पेरेंट्स कहते बेटा शादी कर लो, अच्छा कोई बात नहीं बन रही तो बच्चा कर लो.
बन जाएगा बच्चा.
बच्चा is not the time factor. So it doesn't work. तो ब्रेकअप में ना, और ये मत बोलो I hate that person, I don't like that person. Reduce the self talk. Like hate is such a negative word, इतना गंदा word है. Do not like से automatically उसकी intensity कम हो जाती है. I'm jealous की जगह ये बोलो that this is something that I admire about that person. आपका पूरा mindset ही बदल जाएगा. I'm jealous she looks better than me. अरे यार, admire that she's got longer hair than.
Also saying I hate you to someone is like
such a negative tag. Do not like से वो एकदम intensity.
Yeah. So when we
touch this point, so like we have come around the point of like affirmation.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So like, how should we deal with any emotion? Like, we'll take examples. I'll throw like the emotions at you or the feelings, and you tell me what are the affirmations.
Absolutely.
Has.
Sure.
Yeah, like we were talking about breakups. So like, post breakup,
what should be the affirmation?
affirmation. So I think, but then थोड़ा सा okay.
Yeah, like
हाँ, situation पे भी depend कर सकता है. But then basic would be that, you know, I'm going to find love again, and I can always be loved again, and I love myself today. I've realized my importance today. First I got to love myself, and then my next relationship will be passing on love. So, you know, after a breakup, you suddenly feel unloved. So increase the self-love quotient. So, you know, keep telling yourself that I'm good enough. These are some of my positive traits. I love myself. I am worthy of love. Because, you know, the breakup में suddenly आपको ऐसा लगता है यार कोई मुझे प्यार नहीं करता. ऐसे फीलिंग होता है sadly. Jealousy would be start admiring what you have in yourself. So constantly tell yourself that I can speak well. I have the confidence to do this, or I have the talent of this, or this is the skill I'm good at. Because jealousy is thinking low about yourself. So you constantly remind yourself of something positive in yourself.
We're feeling now after seeing people on social media, like their lifestyle. So what should be
their affirmations in their life.
ओके सो इससे पहले ना एफर्मेशन से पहले आप कोशिश करें कि आप इंस्टाग्राम पे इतना कुछ ना देखें जिससे आपको बहुत ड्रेनिंग वाली फील हो रही. तो पहले वो एक्शन है. और फिर भी अगर यू आर समबडी हु स्टिल वांट्स टू वॉच इट एंड स्टिल वांट्स टू फील लो अबाउट योरसेल्फ, आई थिंक आप कॉन्स्टेंटली अपने आप को ये बोलो दैट दिस इज रियल लाइफ एंड नॉट रियल लाइफ, एंड इन रियलिटी दिस इज व्हाट आई हैव. Even I show only the good part of my life, so I don't know their bad. Tell yourself.
it's like if you have to be healthy, तो जो चीज़ हमें सबसे ज़्यादा पसंद है, जैसे on social media scrolling, तो in that life you have to leave the junk food.
Correct. तो फिर उसकी पिक्चर्स मत देख. Simple. See, your brain is a बच्चा. Repetition जितनी चीज़ें उसको दिखाई जाएगी वो उसी को टेम्प्ट होगा. सिंपल है. अगर मैंने बचपन से सिर्फ ग्रीन ही कलर देखा है तो मुझे ग्रीन अच्छा लगेगा. मेरे बचपन से माई मॉम डिड नॉट लेट मी वेयर ब्लैक. ऑनेस्टली शी डिड नॉट. सो नाउ वेरी रेयरली आई हैव ब्लैक्स, लाइक मे बी वन ब्लैक ट्राउजर एंड वन ब्लैक. इतनी कंडीशनिंग हो गई ना मेरी कि ब्लैक मतलब आप शगुन. सर पे ब्लैक बहुत अच्छा है, बाकी सब जगह ब्लैक खराब.
सर पे तो ब्लैक मतलब
अरे जवानी खराब है. सो आई थिंक इसे जितना आप अपने आप को चीज़ें दिखाओगे, रिपीट करोगे, वो ब्रेन उसी को ही अट्रैक्ट होगा. इसकी गलती नहीं.
And so like what do you like how should one like अपने आप को like childhood से self कैसे केयर कर सकता है इसकी वजह से ये ट्रॉमास लास्ट ना करे. लाइक फर्स्ट लाइक इवन लाइक आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि आप 40 साल के हो 50 साल के हो तो आप बहुत
करेक्ट.
वो तो यही समझते हैं कि उसी में रह रहे हैं कि यार
सही बोल रहा हूँ. और वो बताए एक सो मैं ना यहाँ पे एक चीज़ सॉरी आई कट यू शॉर्ट बट मुझे ये बहुत रेलेवेंट पॉइंट लगा. डिप्रेशन से रिलेटेड है. Men and women are different. We agree that, you know, we all agree. तो हमारा डिप्रेशन भी अलग होता है. तो हम जब when women are depressed, you will see that in your mothers or somebody, they internalize depression. They feel they are responsible for all the wrong that's happening. मैंने ये नहीं किया ना इसलिए आज मेरे बच्चे यहाँ आए, अगर तब मैंने मेरा पति मेरे से खुश नहीं है स्टफ लाइक गिल्ट में चले जाते. Men externalize depression. सारी दुनिया गलत है. आई एम राइट. यू डोंट नो एनीथिंग, शट अप. सब गलत है. न्यूज़ में क्या बकवास कर रहा है, मुझे पता है क्या होता है. Men suddenly externalize depression. They want to feel macho. They want to feel good about themselves. So they use these traits. They'll become risky. They want to do daring things and stuff like that. So
even after
इसलिए वो जो 50 वाले अंकल कह रहे हैं ना, बेटा सब गलत है, मैं बता रहा हूँ सही कहीं कुछ गड़बड़ है, प्लीज उनको मेरा नंबर दे देना.
So
सर
like how should like even I would say like parents treat their child and how they should treat themselves in self-care so that आगे जाके उन्हें वैसी गलत फहमियां ना हो as they should be in that learning.
Yeah, so you know self care का concept ना हम सोचते हैं selfish. then how can you give priority to yourself? It's so selfish. हम सब पार्टी के लिए जा रहे हैं and Archana is saying that no, मुझे तो घर बैठ के कुछ नहीं करना. The selfish woman she is. That's self-care. When you prioritize yourself first over everything else,
It's beautiful.
it's so beautiful.
But also like
It requires a lot of courage also to do it. No? So difficult.
it is selfish. I see like the selfish people who we think from our perspective that's selfish.
They're happy.
They're quite happy.
They believe in self-care. That's what I'm saying. That selfish would be that एक एप्पल यहाँ पे 3 एप्पल हैं, सॉरी एक ही एप्पल है और मैं ही खाऊंगा एप्पल, तुम दोनों तुम जाओ भाड़ में. ये होगा सेल्फ केयर वुड मीन कि हम एप्पल को हम तीनों में डिवाइड करते हैं. आप लोग अपने अपने एप्पल खाओ, मुझे तो एप्पल पेड़ के नीचे खाना है, मुझे सबसे अच्छी खुशी तब मिलती. दैट्स सेल्फ केयर. एप्पल आप भी खा रहे हो, सेल्फिश में तो होगा लात मारो, इसको नहीं मिलेगा, इसको नहीं मिलेगा, ये ही वाज बैड टू मी. दैट्स सेल्फ. ऐसा तो कोई कर होपफुली कोई नहीं करता. बट दैट्स सेल्फ केयर वेयर यू एंजॉय योर ओन कंपनी. एंड आई थिंक हम ना एक ऐसी सोसाइटी में अब जी रहे हैं जहाँ बीइंग अलोन इज टेकन एज ए लोनलीनेस.
So many questions are raised. भाई तो आज अकेला फिर से बैठा है.
क्या हो गया?
क्या हो गया? ब्रेकअप?
ब्रेकअप हो गया? क्या हुआ?
मैं अकेले खाना चला जाता हूँ पानी पताश या कुछ भी तो माय फादर इज लाइक हमने तो जीवन हो गया, हमने तो कभी नहीं किया, कैसे ठीक है जाते हो.
कैसे चले जाते हैं आजकल के बच्चे, है ना? एग्जैक्टली.
अंडरस्टैंड दैट कॉन्सेप्ट.
मतलब when it comes to traveling, आप सोलो जाओ. आप खुद के शहर में अकेले मतलब you know you just can't sit and have dinner with yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can't take yourself on it.
Exactly. So you got to enjoy your company. One of the best ways to again work on yourself is pampering your senses. कुछ अच्छा खा लिया, कुछ अच्छा देख लिया. So women are lucky, you know. We pamper our touch. हम कभी body massage के लिए चले गए, scrub लगा लिया, अच्छा perfume लगा लिया. If you pamper yourself through your senses, it's a wonderful feeling. It relaxes you. The fact that, you know, you detach from people who make you feel negative and inferior is also self-care. So there are some friends over the years, I'm 39 now, I've lost some friends. Lost not because they were bad to me. I just felt a little defeated in front of them. I felt a little less about myself. And I was constantly like trying to prove that either you're better or I'm better. We can never be equal. So then there was that little bit of anxiety I realized around them. So then I detached. That's self-care because I kept myself first. Right? And they've been my friends for 20 years. But then I had to detach.
Of course, yeah. It's a process. You have to walk.
That's self-care.
ये सिचुएशन में बाहर निकलने के बाद नेगेटिव रिसोर्स से दूर जाने के बाद आपके बारे में सोचना ज़्यादा.
Correct.
क्योंकि जब वो होते हैं तो आप सिर्फ उनके बारे में ही सोचते हो, अपने आप को कंपेयर.
You know, आप तब होते हो स्पॉटलाइट में और लग रहा है कि वो कैसेट ऑन हो गई है और जब तक गाना चलेगा मुझे तो डांस करना ही करना है. एंटरटेन करना ही करना है. कब तक एंटरटेन, कब तक आप या ऐसे कब तक करोगे? कभी तो बोलोगे यार शट अप यार, नहीं मन कर रहा, बात
नहीं मिलना तो नहीं
मिल रहा है यार. पर आई गेस ये एक ना एक स्टेज आती है लाइफ में जब आपके पास ऐसे कुछ दोस्त आ जाते हैं. फिर यू नो like they say that you have to once taste the bad to realize the good. तो बैड से भागो मत, वो ज़रूरी है. इसलिए ऑलवेज से कि फेलियर को अगर हम बहुत ज़्यादा माइक्रोस्कोप में देखेंगे तो सक्सेस भी गंदा ही दिखेगा. थोड़ा उसको मैक्रो व्यू कर लो कि फाइन दिस वेंट रॉन्ग, दिस वेंट रॉन्ग, यू नो आई कैन चेंज. दलदल में जो इंसान फंसा होता है ना, वो जितना मूव करेगा ना उतना सिंक ही नहीं होता. उसके पास कोई चॉइस ही नहीं है टू आस्क फॉर हेल्प. एंड ओनली दैट पर्सन कैन गेट हिम और हर आउट. Sometimes we're all stuck in daldal. We need to go out, we need to reach out to people. It doesn't mean we are dumb, doesn't mean we don't have the ability, doesn't mean we are nobody. वो दलदल का, that's the only way out. So you need that help. So yeah, sometimes, so you wanted to ask also.
Yeah, so we have dealt with a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
So like, what do you suggest your clients they should do physically? Because physical things like increase a lot of behavior.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they have to do what they should do. Like do, you know, constantly form an habit or, you know, to like
really focus on, I consciously, actively focusing on mental health, that I have to get out of the situation, and because physical activities.
Absolutely, absolutely. So इसका ना एक before I go on to physical activity, concept ये है कि mind is not visible to us. We cannot see the mind, but we can see our body. So कभी कभार ना हमें अगर अपने अंदर चेंज लाना है तो कभी कभार हम उसको देखना चाहते हैं. सिंपल एग्जाम्पल है. तो इसलिए मैं फिजिकलिटी इसलिए ज़्यादा रेकमेंड करता हूँ क्योंकि मुझे टाइम लगेगा टू ब्रिंग अ हैबिट चेंज और अ माइंडसेट चेंज, और वो तो दिखने भी नहीं वाला है, बाद में एक्शंस में दिखेगा. बट फिजिकली अगर आप 10 दिन एक्सरसाइज करोगे या 15 दिन स्ट्रेचिंग करोगे तो आप वो चेंज देखते हैं. एंड द ब्रेन लव्स रिजल्ट्स. We all know it, right?
Yeah.
We work hard and we get results. It's chocolate to the brain. It wants more.
You eventually end up feeling very light, and confident. Yeah.
Exactly. So physicality is like one of the most important things that you need to, because the mind and the body is the same. So a healthy mind resides in a healthy body and vice versa. तो physicality तो आपको करनी चाहिए. अब ज़रूरी नहीं कि हर इंसान जिम में जाए या बॉडी बनाए, but it could be walking. It could be walking on the grass. It could be doing basic yoga, breathing. Breathing helps in anxiety because that's the only way to come into the present. अगर आप naturally अपनी breathing पे focus करोगे तो आप present में आ जाओगे. So physicality तो अपनी life में लानी ही चाहिए. And जितना आप खाली बैठोगे, एक बहुत cliched proverb we'd heard in a cleanest in the workshop. It's a fact. You know, वो जो cliched proverbs होते हैं ना, they make maximum sense sometimes. Words, sorry, actions speak louder than words. जो कहने से कुछ नहीं होता है, करना पड़ता है. Similarly, दिमाग में तो words ही चल रहे, put it into action. So physicality is very important. Increase the physical quotient, and overthinkers के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, because overthinking is so much about me, myself and Archana. Why did people do that to me? How dare she talk to me? मेरा क्या होगा? मैं. So don't do मैं. Get into physical activity. Look at things from other people's perspectives, and overthinking थोड़ी reduce हो जाएगी. Physicality is the first shot.
Good. Yeah.
I think I'm so glad that I'm a part of this. Like, Shuki, I think there's a difference now. Ek to I'm coming to you personally, of course, it's going to be a gem, but then feel like what he thinks, how motivated things, how I am. I think you know so much. Yeah, it's really nice.
I'm glad that you found it useful. But then again, let's not be balls of perfect human being because it doesn't exist. You think I'm perfect? Not at all. You think I don't have fights? I have fights with my sister. We have difference of opinions, all of that. So that's how life is, you know. Let's not take life as linear. अब तो बस मैं खुशी रहने वाली हूँ, अब तो मैं दुखी रहने वाली. Enjoy the momentum. You know, it's that seesaw. कभी कभार ऊपर रहने में भी मजा आता है, कभी कभार नीचे रहने में मजा आता है. सबकी अपनी ब्यूटी होती है. और कभी कभार बीच में रहने में बिल्कुल मजा नहीं आता ना. ऐसा लगता है enjoy नहीं कर रहे. या तो ऊपर या तो नीचे. Yeah, so yeah, that's all I know.
I think it's like fears to be the evil sheep.
Yeah, actually, it got us together.
Yeah.
And the fact that we could discuss so many things, and probably I shared my dark side, so could you. So I think that's what makes it usual, because we all have a good, bad, ugly side.
At the same time, that's what makes us freak.
Yeah. Correct. I think when asked what the thing I like, what we call it, I think the one thing that when you say that we seek for results, and you said that you have to be efficient, no, consistent,
Yeah.
consistent. Because I think मेरे साथ ऐसा है कि वो दिन क्या है, I seek for result, and that's when everything goes wrong with it. I'm really gonna take that advice because they're like,
But then for that, you should also build a support system. For example, जो लोग 5 बजे नहीं उठ पाते, चलो बोले, अब मम्मी को बोले, पापा को बोले, अलार्म्स लगाए, दूसरे रूम में अलार्म लगाए, तो 2 महीने करेंगे, फिर आदत हो जाएगी, फिर ऑटोमेटिक. आप सिर्फ सोचो, विल पावर पे एक दिन उठ पाओगे तो ले रही.
sad. Then communication is the key to a healthy relationship.
झगड़ा भी उतना ही ज़रूरी है जितना प्यार है. तो मेरे वहाँ कपल्स आते हैं और वो कहते हैं मैम हम लोग झगड़ते हैं, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता. तो आई ऑलवेज से झगड़ना तो ज़रूरी है, दैट मींस ह्यूमन बीइंग. हमेशा कोई यस सर प्लीजिंग कोई बॉस थोड़ी ना है कि यस सर बॉस इज राइट, हस्बैंड इज राइट, वाइफ इज राइट. डजंट वर्क लाइक दैट.
अब इक्वेशंस में पॉजिटिव एंड नेगेटिव्स दोनों होते हैं. मैं तो वो नंबर सेल्फी
अब पता नहीं, ये थोड़ा सेंसर्ड है, बाद में अगर जरूरत पड़े तो फाड़ देना. बट कभी कभी मुझे लगता है कपल्स को लड़ना चाहिए. उसके बाद जो मेकअप सेक्स होता है वो बहुत अमेजिंग होता है. आई फील वो तो ज़रूरी है. अब ज़रूरी तो ना हैप्पीनेस में गुस्से के बाद देने वाले अरे यार आई नो आई डिड दैट सो मेकअप सेक्स इज द रीज़न. अब देख लेना, बच्चे देखेंगे तो हटा देना. अदरवाइज ज़रूरी है राइट. सो आई गेस लाइफ को इतना ना माइक्रोस्कोपिक लेंस से मत करिए. और वो एक होता है ना, आई थिंक स्पेशली इन पार्टनर्स की both of them are like no, not only one person is dominant, but one is dominant and sometimes the other person is also dominant. I think मुझे लगता है कि वो बहुत हेल्पफुल होता है टू मेक इट ग्रो करेक्ट स्ट्रॉन्ग. अदरवाइज एक को लगता है
सब में से
करेक्ट और कुछ एरियाज में एक पर्सन डोमिनेट होगा बिकॉज वो उसकी फोर्थ फ्रेंड हो सकती है.
बिकॉज बोथ सेम पॉइंट पे अगर वो ही झगड़ जाएंगे तो
सो कितनी बार जब मैं कपल से सुनती हूँ ना कि मैम मेरे हस्बैंड ऐसे हैं और मैं अब इनको समझ गई हूँ, आई फील लाइक इट्स सच अ विन-विन थिंग. यू नो द फैक्ट दैट यू अंडरस्टूड योर पार्टनर, यू नो नाउ यू आर नॉट लाइक मैम ये तो करता ही नहीं है, मैं तो बोल के थक गई हूँ. Then I know something is wrong, but if they've accepted it, why not? Yeah, that Burhan will be late. Yeah, we'll be late. Or we will do something so that, you know, just to irritate you. You know, it happens, right?
ऐसे मेरे फादर का ऐसा है, रोज रात आते पाए चल एक ही चीज इधर से उधर हो गई तो वो इतना गुस्सा कर देंगे. एंड मम्मी इज लाइक जब आपको को पता है कि वो गुस्सा करेंगे तो ये चीज सही क्यों नहीं करता. लाइक जस्ट फॉर टेक एन एग्जाम्पल, गाड़ी करके अंदर ये चला देता तो वो गुस्सा करते आगे तो उसको पहले ही कर लिया कर. इट्स लाइक अंडरस्टैंडिंग देयर हैबिट कि अगर वो फॉर्म हुई चुकी है.
Correct. And I'm sure he also would have made something so that, you know, he knows balance. So, कि मम कि मेरी वाइफ को ये नहीं अच्छा लगता तो अब मैं ये करूँ. आई थिंक अगर ऐसे ही एक रिलेशनशिप को चलाओगे तो वो चलता है. पर अगर थोड़ा स्टबर्ननेस आ गया, एक एक्सपेक्टेशन बैरियर आ जाता है तो आई थिंक देन रिलेशनशिप्स कैन बी, आई थिंक देन दे बिकम अ बर्डन. Then you are not living, you are surviving in the relationship.
In fact, it's very bad. Like, so you guys are together and it's like
So, you know, so, you know, when I say I'm good at couple counseling, I don't mean I patch up people. I have had people come terms to the fact that your relationship is toxic. It cannot work. You better part ways. You are different personalities. या अब आप में इतना पास खराब हो चुका है कि अब आप सोचो उसको हम ठीक करेंगे और वो ठीक नहीं हुआ तो ना तो आप इतने एफर्ट्स लगाने को तैयार हो ना वो. I mean, today we live in a society where you do have the liberty to think about walking out of a relationship if it's taking a toll on your mental health. अब हम वो ज़माना तो रहा नहीं कि यही मेरा पति परमेश्वर है, 7 जन्मों तक यही मैं निभाना है. So why not take advantage? I'm not saying don't try. Try, not working, move out.
yeah.
And also the fact that now women are being more independent and, you know, correct. Because अभी तो वैसा भी है ना कि वो लोग रिलेशनशिप के तो कर ही नहीं पाते because they're so dependent and they sacrifice their like whole life. क्या and then once kids come, you know, मुझे ऐसे कई बार लगता है जब you know पेरेंट्स से सुझाव देते हैं ना कि बच्चे कर लो, मुझे लगता है वो हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ एक बच्चे को कैसे एनवायरनमेंट में ला रहे हैं जो टॉक्सिक है. वो बच्चे के लिए तो वो ना एक रेसिपी फॉर डिजास्टर है कि वो तो मेंटली अनहेल्दी ही कौन होगा क्योंकि उसको हमेशा कमिटमेंट इश्यूज रहेंगे. वो खुद एक रिलेशनशिप में गलत चीज़ें सीख रहा है. वो सोचेगा डांटना मारना चिल्लाना इज नॉर्मल. ये तो होता है. मैंने तो अपने मम्मी पापा को ऐसे देखा, तुम बड़ी अलग अलग बातें कर रहे हो, ऐसा ही तो होता है. मैंने तुम्हें डांट दिया, तुम बकवास हो, इसमें क्या है.
Like I have seen my neighbor auntie discussing it with her mother. Which I don't know what were the issues, but they were discussing and I overheard that they were like her mother was telling me that हम भी तो निभा रहे हैं तो तुम भी निभाओ.
Correct.
But like I think like now generation
कितना 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 गलत एडवाइस से नहीं बोलूँगी कि ये गलत
ये मजबूरी है,
But-
मतलब it's like that
तो ये
saying it out of
क्या मैं ना मुझे नहीं पता उनकी क्या स्टेट होगी, बट इमेजिन वो बच्चा है तो उसका बच्चा ही उसने वो that child or that person loses hope बिकॉज उसके लिए एक होप होता है मम्मी पापा, उनसे भी होप लूज कर ली तो वो बहुत ईजिली एक होपलेसनेस और माइंडसेट में शिफ्ट हो जाते हैं. एंड होपलेसनेस में सुसाइड कमिट करना इज वेरी इजी बिकॉज यू ऑलरेडी लॉस्ट होप, तो यू फील द बेस्ट वे इज टू फ्री योर सेल्फ. तो अगर वो मम्मी कैसी कि बेटा देखो कोई बात नहीं, ऐसा ऐसा करते तुम थोड़े समय ट्राई करो, और नहीं होता तो तुम्हारे पास ये ऑप्शन तो हमेशा ही. दैट्स व्हाट वी आर डेवलपिंग होप. And that's what we as psychologists also help you, or life coaches also help you in developing hope. Ki, yeah, the light is very far, it's very dim. The journey is going to be difficult, but there is light. And light travels faster. So the faster you go, the faster you will reach.
That's why we believe in like supreme power quality.
Absolutely.
Gives us hope.
मैं हमेशा एक डायलॉग यूज करती हूँ ना, नारियल में पानी कौन भरता है इसलिए भगवान. I always feel कि यार ये कोई तो कर ही रहा होगा ना. There's some creator out there, you know.
yeah, there is
Probably a very immature definition, but I know I resonate with it. कि मुर्गी पहली आई थी, अंडा आया, हाँ अंडा आया तो किसी ने तो किया ही होगा ना, लाइक दैट.
और एक I think एक ये चीज़ है कि sometimes the fighting patterns, जैसे sometimes when me and Burhan fights, तो this is so different because फिर हम लोग बहुत बैठ के बात भी किए, because I think I am very short tempered and I'll upset and I'll shout and I'll scream, and he is very calm and he'll be like, I want to sleep, bye. Wow, can you do this? So I think I understood that the upbringing, because for me it is so normal ना कि गुस्सा है तो मम्मी चिल्लाएगी, and then after 5-10 minutes she'll come to me and be like, oh no, चलो क्या आता है. तो वो मेरा condition ऐसे हुआ है कि भाई गुस्सा है तो चिल्ला के निकालना है, यही तरीका है, और यही तरीका है सामने वाले सुनेगा. You don't know any other definition of either. Not your fault again. Yeah. And not your mother's fault also because she was also conditioning. पर एक गलती पेरेंट्स ये करते हैं कि वो ऐसा होता है ना कि अगर मैंने मार खा के बड़ी हुई और मैं ऐसी निकली तो मैं बच्चे को भी मारूंगी, फिर मेरा बच्चा भी बचे. कहीं ना कहीं तो वो एक वॉल बना दो यार कि मैं इतना मेस्ड अप इस मार के कारण हो, तो आई वोंट डू दैट टू माय चाइल्ड. पर उसके लिए अवेयरनेस चाहिए. सॉरी बुरानी was saying something.
no, I mean it's the same thing that
Your conditioning is
yeah, I
that
mean
calm.
I step back and I'm like, ठीक है, let's
Because I think when I knew his
process.
But actually that's a wonderful way of handling it, because कभी कभार ऐसा होता है ना कि एक सिंपल एग्जाम्पल है, अब हम एक सेटअप में बैठे हैं और किसी ने मुझे कुछ कह दिया और मैं फुल तैयारी से जाऊंगी कि आज तो मैं बुरान की बैंड बजाऊंगी, उसने मुझे उस दिन ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया. एंड इमेजिन आई गो, तो मैंने क्या सोचा है, मैं ये सोचूंगी मैं बुरान को पहले बोलूँगी हाउ डेयर यू स्पीक टू गो लाइक दिस. वो बोलेगा व्हेन, फिर मैं उसको याद दिलाऊंगी तुमने उस दिन मुझे ऐसे बोला था. सुन गया. Imagine if he says, यार I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. तो मेरा सोचो न्यूक्लियर बोल, मेरा सेकंड तो मेरा ब्रेन तैयार ही नहीं करके आया था डायलॉग. अरे यार वो तो हाँ बोलने वाला था. And I am like वो lost dialogues and I'm like ओके अच्छा ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, नेक्स्ट आप ट्राई करना. मैं घर जा रही हूँ, तैयार होके आती हूँ. So what he does is good. Yeah, when this is one way and you handle it, and it's self-care also. Yeah, exactly. Because I think he draws a line. He says, तुम्हारा गुस्सा तुम्हारे पास रखो, मेरे मुझ पे मत गिराओ. Don't let the acid fall on me. That's great. It's like making a boundary and मुझे लगता है कि कभी कभी वो एक होता है ना कि एक इंसान आगे जा रहा है, उसको तुम पीछे खींच के मत लो. You very true. You pace yourself. Correct. Or have to bring him back. Correct. So it allows me to know I need to calm down. I have to like when I'm like really angry, I'm like no. So that is also one beautiful definition of relationship. If a relationship makes you better, be in it. If it makes you bitter, it's time.
I think that's the easiest way to define it.
To judge it. Then when you got to be in it and when you should not be.
If you're becoming like a mad monkey out of the
You're jealous, you don't want him or her to talk to anybody.
then that's
And you are changing
the person you are. So in your case, obviously this change is wonderful. Yeah. So being short-tempered is not a good thing. But if he is also getting aggressive, then I think both of you will have to part ways. Sorry, you know. I'm sorry. I mean, वो फिर करना पड़ेगा. Because वो एक ऐसा trait है जो फिर eventually एक दिन खराब भी हो जाएगा. फिर जब वो फटता है ना तो बहुत गंदा होता है.
बहुत ही.
Because कभी कभार ना हम एंगर में हम बहुत कुछ ऐसा बोल जाते हैं ना जो नहीं बोल सकते. So hard. And you know, words actually pinch a lot. And women, we have very good memory.
ना ज़बान की trick है.
और एक चीज़ आप याद रखिए, हम कुछ भी नहीं बोलते. हम महिलाएं, हम women एक एक चीज़ नहीं बोलते. कुछ नहीं बोलते. आपको सब याद दिला देंगे.
You sound like a witch right now.
सब याद दिला. Abracadabra, make you a cat. और अब तो वेदर भी वैसा ही हो गया. शाम
हो रखी है. Yes, DOP sir का भी आ गया. The lights.
Yeah, the day has come to an end. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this was a beautiful conversation.
So there's an uncle there who's in his banyan, so I was looking at him. But couldn't see him completely. Not a pleasant sight, but
But still a sight.